Okay. News?
Yeah, I have news. I actually have news this time. Prepared.
Cool.
One of the interesting questions in the video game industry is what is copyrightable? Like, so specifically, if I play some game and I record it, am I infringing on copyright if I publish that video and stuff like that? So the Battlestate Games, who is the developer of Escape from Tarkov, issued a DMCA claim against a YouTuber named Blue Drake 42, who is big enough where it made a splash, 419,000 subscribers as of now, and took down a video where he was talking negatively about the game. They've done this before. They took down, let's see, I'm reading a Polygon article, took down at least, quote, at least 47 of some guy named Iraq Tix videos via DMCA claims over some weekend, and all of them are Battlestate said that let's see, quote, the reason why we acted so strong and so quick is that we had to stop this misinformation about the data leak. And right now we are reviewing all the videos which were copyright strikes. If we find those videos have no issues with the law and with negative rhetorics, we might call back our strikes. So essentially saying that we actually don't care about what the legal thing is. We just don't like that they're saying anything negative. Because, a DMCA claim is not for negativity. It's for copyright problems, I think. So it's very strange. It's happened before, or it's happened many times, but it happened before to PewDiePie, the game called Firewatch, where I believe this is, let's see, I believe the video was taken down on his channel, maybe? At least it was threatened to. Yeah, it's like, I don't know what the legal precedence is for this, actually. Like, is this like something that's been taken to court? Like, is this like what? Is this actually?
I'm not even going to start on this.
Sense?
This is a topic I know probably too much about because it drives me insane. So I'm not going to comment too much. But really, Section 230 gives them blanket immunity in the way that the courts have interpreted it.
Okay, so what you're saying is that are you saying the YouTuber is not liable for anything? Like, is they're good or?
No. I'm saying what it sounds like, right, is that the claim was made by the game studio, right? Is that what you're saying? To the platform, right?
I believe so. I believe it's using I assume using YouTube's DMCA system.
Okay, yeah. So then the platform just executes it probably rotely, right? Like no one reviewed it, I'm sure. It's probably some bot or something.
This article has a link to, it says like post on Eroctic's Twitter account indicates that, and then it has linked at least 47 of his videos had DMCA claims. So I went to click on the link to see the proof of the 47 videos. The thing is, when I open the Twitter link, it's not even his account. Oh. It brings me to, it is actually twitter.com/ErocticGaming, but it seems like the account was hacked or bought out or something, because currently the current owner is called Clash of Kings Hack Online Tool, which seemingly sells hacks for some game. So I'm going to assume his account was nefariously stolen. So the tweet no longer exists. But yeah, I wish I could see whether it was through the like YouTube message him or if it was directly from Battlestate Games. Like the videos were taken down, so I don't know. I mean, would he have taken down the videos himself? I don't know. Yeah.
No, why would he do that? It sounds like he was forced.
I assume that YouTube just took it upon themselves to take it down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a bot. And in terms of like, what he can do about it, he can try to sue the studio, maybe for some like, I mean, there's probably like he might be able to like, it depends on how much time and money and he wants to spend on a case, but he might be able to sue the studio for like tortious interference or something like that, or like something about basically unfair business relations that they got in between him and the platform from enjoying a fruitful relationship unjustly, without good faith. So that he might have a case, something like that. I'm sure there's plenty of other laws that I don't know about that might apply. It's really tough. It's really tough. I mean, has he asked for his content back from YouTube? 'Cause I'm surprised they wouldn't just put it back up if it was yes.
This entire article doesn't say a single thing. Like, it doesn't quote Erotic at all. It just quotes Battlestate games. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I don't know how he felt about this.
Mm.
Oh, it says they've reached out for him for comment at the end. That doesn't say anything else. So I assume he just never responded or didn't
Yeah.
want to respond. And also, I'd like to point out, interestingly enough, for Firewatch and the PewDiePie thing, they took it down for a video that wasn't even. It wasn't even the like they took down. They promised to, at least on their Twitter, they said we are following DMCA, take down a PewDiePie's Firewatch content and any future Campo Santo games. That's the development studio. They took it down for something that he said they didn't like. That wasn't even in any of those videos. Which is strange.
They can have fun with the lawfare there.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have news?
Yeah, so we haven't talked at all about streaming royalty. Well, today we're talking about streaming for music, like music streaming platforms. But there's a whole separate issue of royalties and earning money for TV shows and movies that are on streaming platforms like Netflix. It's a really complicated issue that at some point requires us to go into as well. But some news related to that, one of the big performing rights organizations, which are responsible for distributing royalty payments to composers, ASCAP, or American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. So it's one of the big three ones in America. They announced last week that they are effective immediately increasing streaming royalties to anyone who is part of their TV premium royalty plan. And that's generated a lot of discussion because it sounds really good, but it's very vague as to what exactly is happening, because the announcement that was just that, well, we're doing this effective immediately, and absent an agreement with streaming services to give more money in royalties, which obviously has not happened, and that's just contractually they're not obligated to for a whole bunch of reasons, which we can discuss in a future episode. But absent that, the only way that they can give more money to people who are on the premium plan, right? You would got generally people who are big names who have some kind of big hits out there. And the only way that they can do that is that to take streaming royalty money away from somewhere else in order to give these people who are the big names more money for their streaming things that are being streamed. And so that's generated a lot of discussion because there's absolutely no clarity as to how that's going to happen, whether they're going to be taking more money from the less established names who are doing smaller things in order to give more money to the bigger names, or whether they're doing something else. So on the surface, it's a really great announcement, and everyone is unanimous that it would be great if every performing rights organization would just generally increase more streaming money to everyone. So hopefully it's a start of something good, but very vague at the moment as to how exactly it's going to work and whether any lesser composers are going to be losing out in favor of larger composers.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. Definitely interesting. Cool. And for me, I posted this on our Discord as well, link in the description. But Disney just settled with Scarlett Johansson, which I thought was hilarious and completely unnecessary and a complete error on their part, because they should have just handed her the money when she started complaining and then moved on with their lives. For whatever reason, they thought that they, may be able to PR their way out of it, which I don't understand why they would think that. I mean, she seemed pretty clear that she wanted her money. Then she sues them formally, and they get even more mad on social media, which gets all the ScarJo fans mad, gets a bunch of Marvel people even more disillusioned with Marvel, which is not good for them. And then they end up just settling out of court, which I'm 100% sure they at least gave her the money that she was owed, or gave her some sort of deal in terms of percentage of Disney Plus or something. They definitely gave her a significant amount of money. We will not know because it is a non-disclosure agreement between the parties about the settlement terms, which is almost always the case, especially when there are large sums involved, because Disney doesn't want to advertise its massive loss for other people to come after them. So yeah, I think that's funny. The other thing is, wow, inflation has become insane. So this is great prediction. I keep tooting my own horn, but it's also because it's important information too. So if you go back to some episode way back yonder, I was talking about inflation. It's still relevant, entertaining information. I'll put it that way. It's not advice. It's entertaining information. You can go back to that video about at least learn what I'm doing to hedge against inflation. It's been working really well for me. It's getting to the point where there may be nowhere to run, and it might be too late to use some of the strategies. You have to do your own research, but it's just incredible because I remember in that stream I had said 10% would be insane to see. But it's possible, depending on how things shake out, because this has never happened before. And we have, I think what I said about the Fed also became very prescient as well, because basically everything they've said didn't happen. The inflation numbers are not reliable, I'll put it that way. The calculation, you can literally just open their white paper and look at it. The calculation, the way they run the calculation changes practically every time they release the CPI numbers. Because they say, oh, wait, but we should account for this because it's not as bad in this sector. So let me just add this sector real quick, which kind of dilutes the numbers. And so we're seeing some economists quote CPI numbers at like 15%, like in a month over month, depending. I mean, groceries are up. I shop groceries, so I know this firsthand. Groceries are up like 30% year on year. So that's insane. So, and it's not stopping, and there's a lot of hopium that's holding everything together, right? There's a lot of let's just ride the wave. Let's just ride through this, and hopefully the hopium will get us through the constant shuttering of the economy. I would say that's great, and the hopium is helping me as well in a way, but also be responsible financially if you're in a vulnerable situation like me. I'm in an extremely vulnerable situation because I'm self-employed. I just started my business in the middle of the pandemic practically, in terms of quitting my job and everything. So, just protect yourself if you're in a vulnerable position, especially. I got to say that. I think that might be it. The last thing I want to say is there's a actual legitimate suit happening. Marvel gets sued all the time. There's one that's actually interesting right now because it may get past the motion to dismiss, which for a lot of these cases is really hard to get past for a variety of reasons I won't explain. Which means it'll actually go to trial, which means if it goes to trial, companies like Disney want to avoid pretty much at all costs. They'd actually rather pay out the settlement than they'll go out to trial, not because of the cost of trial, although that is a factor, but because of discovery, right? So discovery allows you to peek into people's emails and, release things to the public. And Disney would rather not do that because they can't control that process. So, so that case might actually go to discovery, and it's about rights over several Marvel Marvel characters. And it has to do with the way Marvel did deals in the way past about the IP of their different superhero characters. To give it a very short overview, maybe I'll put a link to some explanation. I'll find a semi-good explanation somewhere, and I'll put a link to it in the description probably. But the gist of it is that Marvel's relationship to the writers of those characters is not that of an employer. So it was that of a contractor. Not really, there's actually a different word for it, but to simplify it, a contractor basically. And that seems to be extremely provable. And a lot of these people who are, or the one person I think it's the writer of, I can't remember, but the one person who is suing for rights over that entire character's property. So that's a big deal. I can't remember what it is. It might be like Spider-Man and one other character or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the idea that other people who own the IP to the other characters might come out and sue Marvel and try to grab rights to everything is not nominal at this point. So it's very interesting. So if this era ends because of lawfare, that'd be insane. That would be unexpected on my behalf. I didn't know any of this until I started looking into it, and I was like, huh, interesting. Or they may not succeed because they're big, or because they actually have a case. So we'll see.
Kind of, I mean, I don't know any video. I'm just hearing about this the first time, but it kind of reminds me of, and I don't really know what is happening in the legal world, regarding this, since I heard about it a while ago, but there's some issue with a lot of the expanded universe writers in Star Wars who noted that they're not making the money that they're supposed to make because Disney, although they don't publish any more expanded universe stuff, they've rebranded it all as Legends, and they still run print copies of it for you to buy, and also I guess probably virtual copies as well. And basically, in particular, the guy who did a novelization of the first movie and then did a couple other books later, if ahead of the lawsuit against Disney, claiming that Disney did not Disney didn't get to terminate the contract that they had with Lucasfilm when they bought Lucasfilm, and they're not paying him royalties on his republications of his own work.
You think this would be so simple, right? Like, how much money in the grand scheme of things do they have to pay these people? But I don't know why I can't understand the mindset. I just know it happens, for whatever reason it happens. I don't understand it. Like, it's not that much money probably in the grand scheme of what they're doing at Disney to pay these authors royalties, but I don't know. Can't really get it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. This is the same company that was allowed to acquire Fox, which is a big... I could probably do a whole episode on that, although it's not as relevant for obvious reasons it went through. There are a lot of problems with that decision. It's the same company that also is allowed to continue to use the rights to Mickey Mouse, despite there being no compelling reason other than that they make money off of Mickey Mouse, which is not a reason under the law to keep the rights to Mickey Mouse. It's insane. I mean, it's been renewed 4 times or something like that at this point. And so how do you do that? I'll leave your imagination to think about how Disney can pull off convincing people with their massive size that Mickey Mouse ought to be exclusively theirs forever. So yeah. All right. With that was a great episode of Mixed Media. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, all links are in the description if you're curious as to where to find us. We're on Instagram, Discord, all podcasting platforms. We do our video versions on YouTube and Twitch live, and we do we post the final versions on all the platforms, including Rumble. If you're on Rumble, we love you. Great audience over there. I'd love to hear you guys comment more. Got one recently said nice. I like that. But I kind of need more than that. We would love to see you guys on our other platforms where we can talk to you throughout the week. And most importantly, recently, mixedmedia.locals.com. You actually join there for free, but the lowest tier, I might do this tonight or tomorrow morning, is going to be that live whiteboard that you've been seeing change throughout the episode. If you're on audio only, we have a live whiteboard if you want to join us live. You get access to that for life, which is pretty cool. If you ask me, I think that's pretty cool. And you'll help us to get on Rumble live as well. So if you're on Rumble, I think that's an incentive. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see you next week, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye.